This is Let's Talk Big, the Big Read with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel. The Owens Community College Campus Read is taking place now and throughout the semester, with the goal of bringing awareness of different perspectives through books. The Campus Read book is Carrie, a Memoir of Survival on Stolen Land, from 2020 recipient of the NEA Creative Writing Fellowship, Toni Jensen. It's a memoir and essays about gun violence, land, and Indigenous women's lives. Now sharing passages, topics, and events related to the book, Carrie, a Memoir of Survival on Stolen Land, is Owens Community College Director of Library Services, Jane Berger, and Professor of English, Jen Hazel.
I'm Jen Hazel. I know I don't sound like Jen Hazel today for you. I have been fighting this nasty, sinus thing for probably, on and off for 2 weeks now. But anyway, so it is me, I promise. Jane will attest to that. Yes, Jane?
I do. Yes, she is. It is her. It is she. I should not mess up my grammar when I'm sitting next to an English professor.
I know. Let's keep it clean,
It
all
is
right?
she, said I.
Anyway, that might be a lot for whatever time you're tuning in today for that. But we're going to go ahead and just move past that and get started. We're getting to the end of the semester. Not quite, but getting there. I think we need a passage. Jane, do you have a passage?
Oh, wow. You know how hard it is for me to find passages? Said me never. So, page 173, if you're following along. This is a little bit of a long one, so settle in. When my Pittsburgh doctors insist that we stay longer, I use the skills I'd practiced. If they released us Christmas Eve, I would agree to bring my daughter back for her daily weight checks. I would agree to take my blood pressure medication for 1 month. I would agree to accept a pain medication prescription, a narcotics prescription, with the understanding that I wouldn't fill it. Stop saying that, my doctor says over and over. You have to take it. I smile back at him with my best calm smile. In this, our America, once they've strapped you down and cut you open for your C-section, they will not release you until you agree to take a prescription for narcotics. Never mind that you're feeding a baby from your body. Never mind that pain medication filters directly into breast milk. Never mind that narcotics will also make you feel better than you really do, or than your body really does, that you might rip your new incision, strain your muscles already overstrained from labor. Give it here, I say to my doctor. By now, 9 months in, he'd learned to read my face. He sighs. He says, shaking his head, you don't have to fill it. Oh, I say, I know. Whatever you think is best. This is a problem in America, that doctors just feel that they have to give you something for pain to numb yourself when you leave any type of medical procedure. And as a parent, one of my daughters had to have a lot of outpatient surgeries for cysts and things that she would get, and she did not tolerate any kind of pain med at all. I would even cut it in half, and it still just really whacked her out, and she didn't like the way it made her feel. Mm-hmm. So, if you need something, Tylenol, and usually the pain was bearable, and if not, a day later, it certainly was fine. But they made me take it. And the one doctor, I'll never forget this, looked at me and said, oh, all you parents, you think that your kids are going to become drug addicts. I'm like, she's 16 years old, for Pete's sake. If she doesn't feel she needs it, and if it makes her feel so out of it, why am I going to force it on her? I'll never forget that. So I had, just like Toni Jensen in the passage I just read, I took it. I had to take it, and I just never filled it.
Thinking about this, so my husband has had some neck and shoulder issues. And when he went to see the one doctor, well, we can make you feel better if we give you this shot of, I don't know, who knows what it was at the time, some pain medication.
Yeah, or some relaxant that,
Right, and he's like, but that's not the point. Let's get to the root of the problem and figure out what the problem is. So I think it's just that just becomes an easy fix.
Well, it is. And not only, like she says here, it makes your body feel better than what it truly is. So you're going to say, oh, well, I feel great. I'm going to, go ride a horse. I don't know. You're going to do something that you probably shouldn't be doing because your body isn't recovered yet. And then you're going to have a longer recovery, or who knows what you may end up, doing to further injuring or damaging your body. It's just, the pressure that you feel. It's no wonder that there is a drug issue
Well, I was just
in
gonna
America.
Say, yeah, I was just going to say that, Jane. Like, and then, but it is like, it's like we don't know why, or we act like we're like confused.
Right.
Here's Toni's example. You gave an example. I gave an example.
Right. And we're not alone.
I mean, if we went out and asked some other people too, like took a poll here in the shack or over in College Hall, other people would probably have experiences too that are similar. It is interesting though. And I don't want to say that it's all doctors in this, but it is interesting that it just seems to be like an issue, and then we have an issue.
Mm-hmm. Right, you're right.
As a country with it.
I would agree. And it even goes, I found a pediatrician for my kids who, old-fashioned, who believed in, well, you know what, you've got to let your body build up immunities. You need to let it just run its course. And I have friends who knew that their doctors, if they took their kid to the doctor, they'd get a prescription no matter what it was. Viral, bacterial, it didn't matter. I didn't want that. And here I thought I was doing these great things. Okay, now my kids aren't going to, have a resistance to a drug. So when they're, if they are really sick at some point, they'll be able to, have a prescription written for them and it will work for them. I didn't realize that it doesn't really matter, what you do specifically to your, child, because it's just how the whole environment and how bodies all just generally react to the antibiotics. So even though my kids didn't have a lot of antibiotics when they were younger, there were still some when they did get sick that they had to take, a course of one. Well, that didn't work, so they had to go to a stronger one. So I think it just doesn't even matter. I'm like, oh, I thought I was doing something so good, but it just seems to be the way bodies generally. I don't know if you react to the environment and your body has a tolerance. I'm not quite sure how all that works, but it didn't seem to work quite the way I thought it would. But I love the fact that I had a doctor that I would cross my fingers and, I hope it's an ear infection because I could get an antibiotic and she'll be feeling better.
Right, but versus something that's viral.
Right. And
like clearly viral.
Correct. And, and he would say that dreaded word and I go, oh, all right.
Yeah.
And it's true. We haven't allowed ourselves. And I think, again, it just goes back to our society. And moms and dads have to get back to work. Kids have to get back to school. We can't let our bodies take the time that they need to heal. We don't allow ourselves the time for that.
But why not? Let's ponder that for a minute. But why not?
I would love to know that. And I do think maybe in some ways that could be a positive that has come from the pandemic in that we do now. I mean, I see people wearing masks if they're not feeling great, but don't think they maybe something's just brewing, not feeling awful, but just to be on the safe side. Well, that's nice because then, they're saving germs from spreading all over because you don't know, maybe somebody may have a weakened immune system and can't fight if you are fighting it off. Or they stay home. I mean, I know many a time, it's just a cold. I'll just, go in. Now people, I think, are choosing to maybe stay home rather than try to fight through it. At least I hope that's the case. That will continue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting
You
thought.
look very pensive.
No, I think it's an interesting thought. And I think that what Toni brings up probably resonates with a lot of individuals who may experience.
And I think what the message to take away from this is be your own advocate. If you don't want some sort of a pain medication, a narcotic, whatever it might be, say you don't want it. Don't even write the script. Don't play the game that, okay, I'll take it and I promise I'll fill it. And if I need it, it's there. Because then you're going to have to wait until drug take back day.
And a lot of people don't do that. They just put it in the water.
Right.
They flush it down the toilet and don't understand that goes into the water supply.
Yep, which is another issue that we'll have to save for another podcast.
Yeah, let's close that. That'll do it for us today.
That's right.
Nice passage, interesting passage. Not one I would have thought that you would have chosen, but I definitely enjoyed it.
Taking you off guard.
I know. I appreciate that today. So please make sure that you keep listening big to us. You can hear us on Outcast OCCR radio station at 7 and 10 and 7 and 10, or you can check us out on Owen's Outcome YouTube channel. On behalf of myself, Jen Hazel, yes, it is me, and Jane Berger, keep talking big.
Join us again for Let's Talk Big, The Big Read with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel.
On the